Welcome to Fully In It, a show for moms who know they are called to so much more. Join me, Kate Saffel, a life and a business coach, and a woman on a quest to show that anything you desire for your life is truly possible. This show is about going fully in it for you and the people you love by showing up powerfully in all areas of your life. Join me for weekly episodes that will inspire you to follow your intuition, lead with integrity and heart, and create the life you've always dreamed of. Welcome to episode 104. So I have something very exciting coming up in a couple of weeks. And that is that I am hosting my very first in-person retreat. This is such a big deal to me. It has been something that has been on my mind for quite a long time because, I feel really connected to you, right? Like we connect on social media, through this podcast, but I really crave in-person community. I really crave meeting you, meeting all of the women in this community in person in some way or fashion. And so the retreat came out of that. It was just out of this longing of I just really need to meet my people. I need this to start happening. So I'm very excited. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're essentially doing a test run to see, is this a viable option to start offering on a more regular basis as a way for us as a community to come together. So I will keep you in the loop on that. I'll probably be posting quite a bit on social media about it. So definitely make sure that you're following me on Instagram at Happier in Motherhood, because it's going to be really, really fun to share just what it's like. And we have a small group of women who have jumped in to come for this very first one. And oh my gosh, I just think it's going to be even better than we can anticipate right now in this moment. And I am literally counting down the days. Okay, so today, what we're going to be talking about is something that you have probably heard me mention in many places across the internet. It is an idea that has formed and informed so much of the decisions I have made, the way I lead my family and lead myself. And I really wanted to dig into this today and kind of explain it in a way that you could really benefit from this too. And what we're going to be talking about today is your deepest why. Your deepest why. What motivates you to keep going every day? Do you ever stop to think about that? Right? For whatever reason, you elect to get out of bed every single day and do stuff, whatever that stuff is. You take care of your family, maybe you work at a job, maybe you run a business. Whatever it is that you do, you choose to get up and you do it every day. So what is it that is behind you choosing to get up and do the things? Is it that you're afraid to see what would happen if you didn't keep up, right? Is it almost like this fear that if I don't get up and I don't do the things might fall apart? Is it because you don't know what else to do? This is just the way I've always done things. This is the way my parents did it. This is the way everyone, when I look around me, we're all waking up in the morning. We're all going through the motions. We're all making things happen, but why are we doing it? Why? I don't know about you. I am one of those interesting people that I love to think about what motivates human behavior and why we do the things that we do, because I am a bit of a rebel. And I don't believe in just going through the motions. I don't believe in doing things just because everybody else around me is doing it. I want to have a very clear connection to all of the actions I'm taking, and I want to feel good about the things that I do. But your daily actions are inspired by your unspoken beliefs about your life and what you believe is possible. So when you find yourself losing steam, You find it hard to get up in the morning. You find it hard to push through your day. You start to ask yourself, how much longer can I do this? You've lost the connection to why it all matters. And if we don't have meaning in our life, well, that right there becomes a recipe for, a downward spiral and not feeling good and losing the connection to your truest purpose here on earth. So we really want to be clear on why it matters that you are here, why it matters that you do the things that you do, and what it means for your family, for you, for your future, for your community, the people you serve. Because even if you're highly motivated, you may be one of those women who you just get shit done. It's just who you are. You wake up, you do the things, you don't even think about it. It's just you. But this may be because you've trained yourself to perform, not because it satisfies a deeper part of yourself to do life the way you're doing it. And how you know the difference is the emotion that is underneath the action. So do you feel satisfied by the things that you're doing on a daily basis? Do they encourage and inspire you to keep going? Or is it actually fear of what would happen if you didn't do the things that you do? Now, you may have heard me talk before about your deepest why, because it does inform everything we do. And there is a reason, or there are reasons for every action that you take on a daily basis. It's just sometimes we're not connected to why we do the things that we do in the moment that we do them. Your deepest why is not about material goods, accolades, accomplishments, ladder climbing. It really has everything to do with why are you here? Why are you here on earth right now? Like, take a look at where you are right now. So I am sitting at my desk in my office. Oh, I just love this new office so much. But I'm sitting here, there's sunlight coming in the window, and I'm looking around at this life I have created around me. And this life that I have created speaks to my deep why. So what do you see around you? What does it represent for you, the choices you've made so far? What is the story of you being here on earth with your family in this place at this exact time in history? Does that blow your mind to even comprehend? You're like, Kate, I haven't even had my coffee yet. This is way too deep for me at this time in the morning, or whenever it is you're listening, maybe before bed and you're like sleepy. These kind of questions matter. I know these aren't the kind of conversations we're having in mom groups, community groups with those around us. It's like, why am I actually here? But this matters. And it really is up to you to get clear on why does it matter so much? Why does you being here and you doing the things that you do every day, why does it matter? Now we can flip that and you can ask yourself, what would happen if you weren't here? Does that question upset you? I know it does for me. Right? We get so accustomed to our lives and our days and our family and our home, we can almost become immune to it. Like, I'm just here, just going through the motions. But what if you weren't here? What would be the impact of the loss of you in the world? Because there is something specific about you. You have your own magic that you bring to everyone around you, from your home to your community and outward into the world. But no one else is going to necessarily know it or see it if you don't first feel it within yourself. We always have to be our own best advocates first. We have to love ourselves first. We have to see our value first. So get clear on that for you. Now I'm here to help guide you through this process of figuring out what is your deepest why. What is it that you want to nourish your goals, your dreams, your home life, and your future as a family? Let's talk about it. So there are two parts to this in my book. There is your purpose or your calling as a mom, what you are meant to do as a mother. And then there is your purpose and calling as a leader. And I use that term because I know that you all have different roles that you fulfill. You may be a stay-at-home mom, and you are finding ways that you are leading in your family. Maybe you're leading in a community group. You have that purpose as a leader. Or maybe you're in a career and you actually are leading people at your workplace. You could be an entrepreneur like me. So many of us in this community are women who have seen entrepreneurship as the path to create freedom and possibility for our families, and you are leading your people in a transformation, whatever that is, or you're providing some kind of good or product or service, and it has a huge impact. So let's talk about both of these, your purpose and calling as a mom and as a leader. Now, in motherhood, we have such a unique opportunity to create an impact in our home and for our families. But kind of the Achilles heels for most of us mamas is that we're so busy doing all of the things, keeping up on all of the house tasks, the to-do list, the doctor's appointments, the worrying about everybody and everything and making sure what needs to happen is happening, that we can lose sight of the bigger goal. So my question for you is, and feel free to pause this. You can pause me, get out your journal, and actually write on this. And if you're driving, make a mental note to yourself. You're going to come back to this later because this work really does matter. And it will deeply impact your life. So what are you consciously creating for your family? And consciously, when I use that term, I mean you are very aware and it is very intentional what you are choosing to create for your family. And again, we can always flip this and say, what am I unconsciously creating for my family? When I'm not paying attention, when I've just kind of crept back into the going through the motions, what am I unconsciously creating? What starts to happen when I'm not paying attention? And when you do show up fully in what you are creating for your family, what do you believe will be the result of those actions? What are you heading toward? If you had a roadmap, where is this leading you? What is that destination? And again, destinations change, right? Of what we desire for our family. It evolves over time, but currently, what is motivating you forward? This is your opportunity to get really clear on what you truly desire for your family and make those changes so that you can become more aligned in your actions so that they reflect what it is that you are creating. So for me, what I desire for my family, it really hasn't changed ever. It stays the same. Sometimes how it comes forward looks different, like our life has gone through different iterations. But in general, this reflects our values, which is having togetherness and creating a sense of belonging, having a very warm family culture. What I desire is that we are always in a slower lane of life, right? We aren't rushing through it, but we are really savoring these moments that we have together, because the thing is that the passing of time is bittersweet, and I want to be here for it. We love to travel. Obviously, we love to travel. My gosh, I know someone asked me recently, because we've moved to Florida. They're like, "Are you gonna stay in Florida forever?" And I was like, "Oh, the word forever." I will be married to my husband forever. That's a commitment I have no problem making. But staying married to a location is a bit of a trickier one for me. We will always have a balance of travel and a place that we call home, but really physical home is different than personal, like home is in our hearts. Home is when we are all together. It took me a while to learn that lesson. I always kept thinking, oh, there's going to be a place on the map that is home. And the reality is we are home for each other. And that's really all that we need. We can make a home anywhere. We also value lifelong learning. Every day is an opportunity for us to learn together. And we look for those opportunities as they come. For example, my kids have some friends that moved recently to Brazil, and they decided they wanted to send a letter to them. And eventually it evolved into this whole project where, okay, my kids have been super into Egyptian mythology lately, and they have a whole book about it. And so they essentially created like a book report, and then they used my graphic design program I used to create all of all the visuals that you see for my business. It's called Canva. And so then they got on Canva and they essentially made a brochure for their friends about Egyptian mythology facts. And none of this was me telling them, hey, you need to do this. This is a homework assignment, because we homeschool. This was all very self-motivated. And it's because it was important to Kirk and I to create a culture where learning is something we love doing, and we don't see it as like this thing that we check off on a box. It's just kind of who we are. So those are the things that I am consciously creating for my family. What are you creating for yours? The second part is, as a leader, we women are leaders. It is in our DNA to lead boldly and confidently, no matter what you do, where you live, who you are. So my question for you is, what are you called to lead? What are you called to lead? You may already be in a leadership position, or maybe that there is something that has been calling you forward and you haven't fully stepped into it yet. And what does get you out of bed every morning? Is there a change you want to create in the world, in your community, for your people? Sometimes when we feel unmotivated, it's because you aren't using your innate gifts to their fullest potential. This actually will drain you of energy. Did you know this? You have energy that needs to be used, and if it's not being used in the way it's meant to be used, it will actually make you more tired. I have often found with coaching clients that when I help them get more clear on what it is they want to be doing with their life, they suddenly have boundless energy and they're like, what is happening? And it's simply because we pivoted them away from doing things that didn't feel good and that they weren't called to doing things that feel good and that they are called to doing. And this could be such a game changer for you too. And know that it is okay for you to want more for yourself and your family. Whether this is happening in your home or it's on a much broader scale, you get to decide what this is for you. And the thing is that finding your deepest why doesn't have to be this big, flashy thing. I want to make that clear. You don't have to go out and do some massive thing in the world to have the most beautiful impact for the people you care about most. Your deepest why could all happen within the four walls of your home. And that would be so beautiful and so needed. But it will take you getting even clearer and letting that motivate you forward. So how I actually use my deepest why, and there's more to mine. I didn't actually go fully into detail, but mine is just that I am here to show what is possible for moms. And I am here to help women change their lives and have a massive impact for themselves and for their families. I want to show that we can do family life on our own terms, that you don't have to do it like anyone else. And I'm willing to show up and wake up every morning to demonstrate that and show it's possible. So for you, get clear on your deepest why. Let it be the thing that gets you out of bed and reminds you you have a purpose on earth and you are needed every single day. Okay, my loves, I hope this episode inspired you, gave you some clarity, gave you some things to think about. Please let me know. I love hearing from you. You can message me on Instagram at happierin.motherhood or send me an email to hello@thestreamlinedlife.com. It is always such an honor to hear from you, and I will see you next week. If you loved this episode, it would make me so happy for us to connect more. I have the most amazing free resources like a 5-day e-course that will help you feel more confident leading your days and your family, a guided visualization for imagining and creating the life that you want. And if you are ready to take everything that you hear in this podcast and create it in your own life, you're definitely going to want to book a free 50-minute call with me to see if coaching is the perfect fit for you. Head to thestreamlinedlife.com/hello to find all of the latest resources from me. And I am sending so much love to you and your crew. I will see you next time.